The following presentation is brought to you by kmmedia.pro. Please visit kmmedia.pro for more information. Now stay right where you are as we present. Welcome to Positive Talk Radio, evolving ideas, one conversation at a time. Great guests, dynamic stories and interviews, plus new thoughts on a wide range of topics and concepts. I hope that you'll hang with me, Kevin McDonald, my friends, and of course, you. As together we work to understand why we are all here and what we can do to make our world a better place for all of us. To be happy, be kind, and live in peace together. Yep, that's Positive Talk Radio. Positive Talk Radio. I make myself giggle every time I say that, and that's so. It shouldn't make me giggle, but it does. I'm afraid.
Be happy, giggle.
That's exactly right. That's why I love doing these, because it always puts me in a fabulous mood. Because
absolutely, I mean, the name alone. How can you not be happy when you're coming to the Positive Talk?
Well, you know, I got to tell you, there is a little bit of pressure around that, because if I ever come in to it and like, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Golly, it's a shitty, crappy day, and but so yeah, I'm not.
Everyone's going to be wondering what the problem is, right?
Exactly. By the way, that's Shelley Meche'tte over there, and she's a life coach and extraordinary coach, and she works with people all over the country. And she helps people be positive and live life just a little bit better. And I'm a firm believer that we all need a coach. We all need somebody to work with us to help us get through the swamp that we call life, because it can be a little disconcerting from time to time.
Oh, it can be a little swampy. I like that. The swamp.
Yeah, because you're walking through the swamp and your feet are dragging, and then you hit a hole and you go sinking, and it's just and then you get up back on top of it, and it's never done.
And we do it all over again, and we keep going through that cycle. And hopefully each time we get back up, we get up a little bit better with a little more knowledge.
That's the key, isn't it? Is to learn from what's happened to you in the past, so that you can not necessarily repeat the same mistakes again.
Absolutely. And hopefully you won't have to hit that mistake 4 times before you go, okay, I'm not going to do that again.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about this subject, and it was like, and I said, and I'm sure in your coaching world, you get this a lot. It's like, why do I keep doing the same thing? And I know that it's not what I should be doing, but I keep doing it. In my case, it's I keep inviting people into my world, into the program that I really should not be doing that, because everybody's got.
Why do you think you keep doing that, Kevin?
Because I'm told that I don't value my abilities enough, and so I'm not as confident in myself as I should be.
How are we changing this perception of confidence that you have in yourself?
Well, I'm working to do a better job of talking to myself, number one.
Absolutely.
And not degrading it. See, years ago, one of the things I used to do, even on the air, was I was self-deprecating. And I actually had somebody say, I really wish you'd stop doing that, because I think you're pretty good and I like you, and you keep talking badly about yourself.
Oh, that sabotage, that verbal sabotage.
That we all do. It's a little voice see, I don't have much of a filter, so the little voice in my head tends to come out my mouth. And unfortunately, the voice in my head sounds a lot like my mother's for some reason. So, but that's why it's important for all of us to have a coach, and for someone. Although the same person I had to laugh, because as part of her work, she assigns accountability partners.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, sure. And I said,
Nice.
and I said, "Can we do this?" But but I really don't like the accountability partner part, because that means when I say something, you're going to expect
Mhm.
me to actually follow through and do it. You're the same way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And not only follow through with it, but follow through in a realistic time frame. So you don't just get to follow through, because if I'm your accountability partner, I'm going to attach a time frame to that. And then I'm going to come back and say, "Okay, hey,
Oh, that's even worse.
you
'Cause
had 1 week to do this. And because I'm so kind, I'm going to hit you up a day or two before and remind you, remember, you put a time frame of a week to this. So it's 2 days before. Just wanted to put that bug in your ear." Now,
I said that.
how nice am I?
Yeah, you're very nice in a mean, destructive. No, I'm kidding. Uh, by the way, I used that just a little while ago, and then I thought about it for a second. The bug in your ear thing. I
Mhm.
thought, why would I put a bug in your ear? It's like that doesn't make any. Anyway, so but but that's a really big part of coaching
Mhm.
is the accountability piece, because without
Mhm.
that, people are just, and I know that you value people, you value their money, you value their time, and when somebody pays you to coach them, you don't want them to waste their money, and that's part of the accountability piece.
Right. Absolutely. And here's the thing with me, I don't believe that everyone is fit to work with me. So I don't believe that I'm a fit for each person that comes across. So I like to sit down, I like to have a conversation, I like to see, where is it that you're going? What is it that you need? How can I help you get there? And sometimes, if I'm honest with myself, yes, maybe I can help you get to a certain spot, but I want to help you get to the best spot. And that's where my Rolodex comes in, of different coaches that I know, of different therapists that I know, where I can say, yes, I can get you to this point, but looking at where you would like to ultimately be, I think that this particular coach would be better for you.
That's
And I
that's
think that when you're comfortable in who you are, who you serve, and what you can deliver, you're you're not you're not pressed about sending someone to the coach that you know is going to help them get that result. I think that makes me a better coach.
well, it certainly makes you honest, and that is, you know so you mean to tell me that as a coach, you're not a salesperson first? You
I'm about your transformation. And at the end of the day, I want the people that I work with to be able to value themselves, see themselves, have confidence in themselves, create life balance for themselves, so that you could become the person that you were created to be. And so at the end of the day, when you finish working with me, you're going to know what it is that you were created to do. The things that you would like to do. You're going to have a roadmap. And what we need to realize is, when we're on that journey of finding self, it's not it's a 30 and done. Oh, it's a 60 and done. This is our first step. And the first step is being able to say, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be. Now let me get the tools that I need to walk in this way and become that person. So if we're outside of that realm, then what I want to do is, I want to direct you to someone who's going to pinpoint exactly what it is that you need, that's outside of what I give. And for
what's
me, that makes me a better, because at the end of the day, when you're ready to come back, which a lot of them do, they come back and go, hey, well, now, I really need to know, what are the steps? What's the journey? Yes, I've gotten this part, I'm more confident, even though I do teach in confidence as well. But they come back and go, okay, Shelley, now I'm really ready. I'm really ready to go on that journey. And it makes our relationship much better, because you know that I'm not here with fluff, and you know that I have no problem saying, this is outside of what I think would benefit you best.
when you somebody decides that they need a coach, and that they really are not their life is not working out as they planned, and they don't know why, And without somebody looking in from the outside, it's very hard for us to know why, because
Hmm.
we're here and we're in it and we're knee deep in the drama. So when somebody makes that decision, what's the first thing that you tell them when they come to you and say,
Hmm.
I don't even know that I need a coach, but I'm not. What do you tell them?
Well, in my, I have a questionnaire that I do in the beginning. And so one of the questions is, or one of the statements is, if you don't feel like you need a coach, there's really no reason for you to fill out this questionnaire. So when you may not know exactly what you need, but I need some assistance somewhere. So the first thing that I ask any client that I'm working with is I say, tell me about yourself. Because a lot of times when they sit down with me, and they begin to tell me about themselves, because we're so conditioned to talk about our successes as a way of talking about ourselves. A lot of times that's where we start. And most of my clients, really, probably 100%, really, I'm trying to think now, have I had anyone not throw the titles in? And I can't recall anyone not putting it in. But what happens is, and I've done it too, tell me about yourself. Well, hey, I'm a mom. I've been married for 20 years. I work for this amazing entertainment company and doing this. I listen to all of it because they're all wonderful, amazing things. And then I go, now tell me about yourself. And it like stumps them. They're sitting there like, well, I just did. No, you didn't tell me about you, but you did give me the assets, which are titles that we end up adding to ourselves. But tell me about you. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What do you do in the morning time? What makes you smile? And that's where it begins. That's where the peeling of the onion begins. And they go, wow, I didn't even know these things about myself, or I had no idea that I was suppressing anger in this way. I had no idea that, while I love being a stay-at-home mom, there's a little bit of envy in there. So we work on those things, and then we find out where you are actually and where we can take you so that you can begin to find the best version of yourself.
Are there people that come to you that when you ask them that question, they've got a deer in the headlight look, and they just it doesn't it they just can't comprehend the question, because it's
Not
like,
the not the first round, because the first round, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna run off the titles. So when I ask you, "Hey, tell me about yourself." No, that first round, absolutely not. People are very confident in the titles, very much so. And it's the second time when I go, "Oh, those are great. Those are wonderful things. Absolutely. Now tell me about yourself." That's where the confusion sets in.
so were you not listening? I
Right,
was just
exactly. They're
telling
like,
you about
so
myself.
so I'm hiring you for what? So you can't even listen to the
And that,
what I
that
need you for.
that is so true. Now my ex-wife has a problem with honest communication and digging deep into the non-superficial areas of her life. She was real
Mhm.
good at doing I'm a floral designer, and I do this, and I run, and I have a bicycle and stuff. But when you got in deep and say, how are you feeling really?
Mhm.
She didn't even know how to go about accessing that. Do you
Right.
find that there are some people that are like that?
Absolutely. And the reason why is because, again, we've been conditioned that a lot of our value and worth is tied up in titles. And so when I remove all of the titles, I'm confused now. I literally sat in a mirror, Kevin, I don't even know how long, with tears like literally streaming down my face because I couldn't figure out what I liked about myself. And I'm sitting in the mirror like, like the ugly cry, because I'm like, well, what's wrong with me that I can't figure out what I like about myself? And the reason why I did that exercise is because I didn't want to put things on me that other people liked about me. So other people say, oh, you're so this or you're so that. That's wonderful. Okay, Shelley, who do you say you are? What do you like about you? And I sat in that mirror, and I don't know if I was so depressed that I just couldn't find anything, or that I was scared that there was nothing there.
I That would be the most awesomely bad thing if
Do
you
you see what I'm saying? For me
yeah,
to
if
walk
you if
away from the mirror and be like, dang, I didn't find nothing. That I don't know. That so I was determined to stay in that mirror. At that point, because I couldn't dig deep, what I found was that I really liked my smile. So I went around cheesing, all day because I'm like, y'all gonna see these teeth. You gonna see these teeth, okay? Because I likes them. But what happened is because that was a solid, honest truth that I really did like my smile, what it did is it gave me a confidence to say, well, you can dig a little deeper. You're extremely intelligent. You're actually quite funny. You're a good writer. So it gave me the confidence to dig. And I think in the beginning, a lot of us are afraid to dig because we've become so comfortable with the superficial that if we sit in self, like for real, we might end up like me in that mirror, like, I don't know if I even like me.
Wow, you number one, you're an adorable person, and you've
Oh,
got
thank you. I'm gonna
you,
take that.
please do, and you've got a tremendous amount of energy. You got a tremendous amount of positive energy, which is why we had you on KKNW, and now we're doing this because you are somebody that can positively impact. But what I like about you a lot is that you have a great smile and you've got a great personality and you're funny, but there's an underlying I'm not going to put up with your bullshit that you that that is also there.
That is there as well, that I cannot tell a lie. And that is one of the things that I think um, my clients appreciate. I'm
Absolutely.
not here to babysit you. I'm really not. And I'm not here to baby you. I'm here to help you reach the goals that you told me you wanted to reach. I'm here to help you reach a better version of yourself. I'm here to help you get clarity on life and create balance for you. I'm here to help you become the best part of you and to discover who you were created to be. But I am not here to baby you. I'm going to give you the tools. I'm going to let you know. And there have been some clients where I've said, okay, well, here's the homework. Here's what it is. Here's what I need you to do. It's obvious that you're not ready. So you come back. Now you've paid this dime. There's no refunds. There's none. And you've paid this dime, but you're not putting in the work. So you come back when you're ready to put in the work. You have this session of time. Whether you use that session of time is on you. You paid for your sessions. Now, why would you want to waste that money?
How many people come to you and say, and in the course of your working with them, they say, well, Shelley, I thought your job was to fix me. And did you get people
Yes,
that say that?
they didn't use that exact word, but I've had a couple of people get upset and say, it's your job to tell me, what to do or to tell me how to make this better. So fix is not the exact word that was used, but it's in line with that. And my response to that is, no, that's actually your job to take the tools that I'm providing so that we can walk this journey together and you can tap into who you are and bring those things out so that you can recognize the person that's in there. It's my job to help you recognize those things so that you can pull them out. I'm going to give you the tools. I'm going to provide the right questions. I'm going to give you the scenarios. I'm going to give you the homework. I'm going to give you all of the things that you need so that you can become who you said you would like to be. So you can figure out your purpose in life. So you can understand your destiny and the woman that you are. But it is never my job to actually do the work for you. That's on you. And that would be one of those people that I said, now you come back when you're ready to do the work. You already paid for this. So you come back when you're ready to do the work. And, they were upset, they're like, blah, blah, blah. But in about maybe 2 or 3 weeks, they came back and said, I appreciate you making me own, my ish. I appreciate that.
So you're almost like, see, my son is a diesel mechanic. And he goes to a job, he goes to a site, and there's a piece of equipment that's broken. And he uses different tools based upon what that piece of equipment needs to get fixed to fix it. But he doesn't fix it. He doesn't run itself. He is the mechanic. He fixes it. So you're you don't have grease under your fingernails, but you're very much like a diesel mechanic.
See, I'm mechanicking some things.
Yes, because you give us tools
Yes.
that we can then use, and then again, there's that big choice word again. If we choose to use,
if you
those
choose
tools.
to. And the difference between me and maybe some other coaches is I'm not going to play, the guilt game or feeding into any of that. The choice is yours. I'm going to give you the truth. I'm going to give you the truth in love. I'm going to let you know, here's where you are. Here's where you can be. That gap in between, I'm going to walk that journey with you. Now, don't have me turning and looking back and like, well, where are you at? I was walking. I said, with you. This is your journey.
Exactly. What is the most, have you ever had somebody say, just out of curiosity, have you ever had somebody say, I really want to be a great big famous person, and I want to have all of this and all the money in the world and all of that. You're going to help me get there. Does anybody ever come in like that?
No, I've never had anyone come in like that. A lot of times the clients that I'm working with, they're looking for some peace. They're looking, for some authentic happiness. They want to spend time with their family. They're tired of going to bed wondering, is there more to life? They want to know, is this it? Am I only gonna be doing mundane responsibilities for the rest of my life? So I haven't had anyone just come in and be like, you know what? I just want to run the world. But when you finish working with me, you can run it.
That's very good. Well, I'm finding in my world that question that you just posed, that they're posing to themselves, is maybe becoming the biggest question of our time. And that is this all there is?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not all there is. We just can't grasp it sometimes.
Yeah, it's not. As long as you're here, there is a more to who you are. And I love helping my clients experience their more. And what we have to understand is more doesn't mean material things, getting more.
Right.
More is me experiencing everything that belongs to me. More love, more kindness, more insight, more ability, all of these things. It can absolutely mean more money, but money in itself is not the joy. It's not the happiness. What do you do with the money? And for people like me, having finances is great, is wonderful. It's great and wonderful for all of us. But the idea that I love to be able to use those finances to be able to help other people, to do for other people, to pour into organizations, to nonprofits. I love to be able to give back. So the money is great. The source of the money is what brings me the joy. The source of how I can use it. So when we find the source of things, that's part of my more, being able to give. So when we find and experience our more and we're living in our more, I run across a lot of women who were like me. I'm just a mom, I'm just a wife. No such thing. Scratch that out. You're going to live in your more. You have an ability to teach. You're a teacher at heart. So every day when you get up with your children, you're not just a mom. You're their first teacher. You're their educator. Put stuff all around your walls. Let them walk into the living room, and they're at the circus or whatever. We have to be able to live and understand our more to be able to positively experience it.
It is part of, first of all, if you're a mom out there, I don't know how you do what you do. It amazes me. Because it is the hardest job in the world to raise.
You want to run away sometimes, and nobody tells you that. Okay, nobody tell you that you're gonna get up screaming some days.
Yes, but you don't get to walk away, and you have to, and
But
you
you
work
come
at it.
back. You come back.
Indeed, indeed. But it's the hardest job in the world, and many women that I know who are what they would call a homemaker,
Hmm.
um, has a less than opinion of themselves. Why is that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know this from experience when I left the corporate world to be home with my children, that's when I had the greatest identity crisis. That's when everything fell because we live in a society that says loving, providing and nurturing your children inside the home has no value. What? You know? What? Where that happen at? That is the most valuable thing that you can do. It doesn't take away from parents who work outside of the home because you're valuing and nurturing your children too. But to have a parent who is there, to have a parent who can be in each stage of your life while you're young, to have a parent who's not missing, any of the recitals or who's able to take you back and forth, to have a parent who's there, that is invaluable. And for some reason, our society says there's no honor in that when there's great honor because these kids who I've taken time to pour into, to care for, these are people who are going out into your society
I
who
like, yeah, go
yes,
ahead.
who I'm pouring into so that they can be an asset in the world. So how can you say that what I'm doing, because these people are going to go out and become productive members of society? And it's because someone has taken time to say, I'm going to walk away from the corporate and I'm going to put that on the back burner for a minute so that I can spend this time of my life season pouring directly into my legacies. That's powerful.
Oh, it's
Working
yeah.
outside the home is wonderful. Working inside the home is just as wonderful. And we have to stop trying to compare those things. When I learned how to value my life season, and my life season at that time was being a stay at home mother, that was part of my life season. And when I learned how to value everything that I was bringing to that season, you couldn't tell me nothing.
I drove a bus for 12 years in Seattle, and I saw a lot of kids that were left to their own devices while
Hmm.
growing up because mom and to be fair, if you're a single mom, obviously you have to work and
Absolutely.
you have to be gone, and it's a horrible, horrible job. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy because you can't win.
You,
It's always
it's hard.
difficult. It's very hard, and you're always tired, and you're always you're trying to make everything work.
Hmm.
But if you have the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom, you get to form these impressionable minds so that they don't end up doing some of the things that I used to see kids do when they were out and about in the
Hmm.
world by themselves. You give them a grounding that's much that is so needed.
Absolutely. You give them a different type of a foundation. And believe me, I understand, that single parents have to work. I was that single parent, which is why when I ended up getting married and there was an opportunity on the table to say, hey, let's see, can we work this, financially where someone can stay home and be with the kids. I didn't want to send my newborn baby. I didn't want to go back to work after 6 weeks. I didn't want to send my newborn, to daycare. I had done this with my oldest child. I knew what that side felt like. I didn't want that anymore. So again, I didn't know that I was going to go into a full-blown identity crisis either. I didn't know that I was going to end up doing the ugly cry either. But there's a lot of strength that comes in being a single mom. You don't get no days off. There's no vacation time,
Nope.
and then for a lot of times it can be a thankless job because people just begin to feel like, oh, it should get done. Oh, it should be this. Oh, the mom will take care of it. And it just becomes like, again, what? So these are the clients and the women that end up coming to me because they're like, is there nothing more? and a lot of them are moms, and I have a nice portion of stay-at-home moms that come and say, I love my kids, but I some days I don't want vomit on me. Can I get through one day, without having to wipe up a spill or do this or do that? And so being able to figure out how to enjoy or experience our more in a situation where that can become mundane and repetitious, you know, I love being able to help women find that.
And it's a really good job that you do, by the way. By the way,
Oh,
we're
why,
talking
thank
with
you.
Shelley Meche'tte. And Shelley, your website. Let's talk about that. What is it?
Yes, my website, I like to keep it simple, Kevin. My website is www.shelleymechette.com, and that's SHELLEYMECHETTE. Yes, it's a
Don't
lot of E's. I know.
don't forget about the TE at the end, because it's
Yes,
all silent.
that's the only way you're going to find me. It's the only way.
And go there, and you can find out all about the work that she does, and can help you get to a better place in your life. And you do it remotely as well. You do it via Zoom and all that.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, a lot of my clients are more online now, and so I do a lot of group coaching, and so a lot of them they're more comfortable now online. The pandemic, as difficult as it was, it opened up another area, especially for people like me, where I'm able to really reach out to more women than before, because now I'm coaching women in Canada. I'm coaching women, in the UK. So it really opened up a door for me to really expand what I do.
One of the things that I think is going to come into play here in the not too distant future, actually, it's already coming into play, and that is group sessions online where people can get together and have a dialogue and communicate with each other, because it's hard to get together
Hmm.
physically anymore. And what we're finding is that you can have a group that maybe from all over the country, and they can
Hmm.
get together. They see the commonality, the same problems that they're having. They can discuss it, and then it becomes a group dialogue of, like, when somebody says, "Woe is me," and yada yada yada, and the other person says, "This is what I heard you say. Is this what you meant to say?" And then it opens up a very deep dialogue. It's really is fascinating, the dynamic.
I love group coaching just for that reason. One-on-one is great, but I really prefer group coaching because you do have a sense of community. You don't feel isolated. There are other people that are going through the exact same thing you are. And what's really amazing is during my group coaching sessions, when all of us are there, we have an open platform. So I'm not the only one speaking. It's not me just getting on there saying, hey, here's the tool of the day. How do you do this? No, it's really an effort that everyone puts in. Someone may ask a question, someone else will come along and say, I just had that issue this week, and this happened and that happened. And how did you guys deal with that? Yes, I'm the coach. I'm the guide. And I like for them to understand that I'm the guide, but you guys have amazing answers too. Let's bring all of that together. And that's what I really love about the group sessions that I do.
Well, and it's interesting because a lot of young mothers are isolated because of being young mothers, and they can't get out, and their children, it's a real big pain to get your children all dressed and all ready to go, and
Don't I know it?
and I can just imagine somebody saying, I really like these group coaching sessions because I really like to talk to somebody who doesn't poop in their pants.
Yeah,
That
exactly. 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 And when I was a single mom, we didn't have this.
right.
So for me, I felt like sometimes I want to run away from my child. And I felt like I couldn't say that because someone's like, oh, what a bad mom. And I wanted to open up I wanted to open up that dialogue, which is why when I was a single mother, I started a single parenting group so that parents could come and we would have that opportunity to say, I want to pull my hair out. I just want to get away without someone looking at you going, is that right? The kids could come, they could play, in my daughter's room, and we can all come together, sit down, have some adult conversation, and walk away going, woosah, thank you so much. I was able to get this off my chest. Everything that you say stays here. And it's an opportunity for us as single parents to connect with another single parent. So again, understanding our life season, that part, it was a frustrating time, but because it was frustrating for me, I created an avenue to help make it less frustrating. Because I'm like, I know that, if I'm having this difficult time, it has to be someone else having a difficult time. Let's come together. Let's talk about it. Let's lay our hair out. Let me give you an hour of free time because your child is in there messing up the room with my child. And let's just sit back and enjoy an hour of just being moms or just being single parents, because dads were invited too, but just being us.
And it's interesting that when you're young, see, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been around the planet for a little while now.
Those 21 years, yeah, I noticed.
Yeah. and so when you're looking at it from my perspective, that when things are going in like in your 20s or your early 30s, that it's going to change. It's not going to be like that forever. But when you're in the 20s and early 30s, it's in your mind, it is the only thing that you're experiencing. So it is going to last forever.
Right. And you're sitting there going, is there nothing more?
is exactly. And that, I think, is there, in my opinion, there's a great awakening going on in that people are deciding working 60 hours a week, having 2 weeks of vacation a year that they're not taking, or they're having to work part of, and they're not enjoying life. I think people are changing in that they don't want that anymore. They want to be more balanced. Do you teach them how to be balanced?
Absolutely. And here's the one thing that I let them know before anything is that you'll never have a balanced life in the way that you're looking at it. There'll never be a 50-50 life ever, because we have life seasons, and in our life season, we give more attention to certain things. Case in point, being a single mom, there was absolutely no way in that season of my life that my personal life was going to have the same amount of time as my parental life. It's not going to happen. I'm a single mom. So the balance in my life was, I have to work, I have to be a mom, and then I have a single parent group that gives me that little 10% to let me woosah. So my life is not 50-50, but it is balanced because, 60% goes to being a mom, 30% goes to working and providing. So I got to pour into that. And then 10% goes into me sitting back with a single parenting group so that I can refresh my brain again.
That really helps, and it doesn't have to take long. It's like, for people that like to meditate, some say you got to meditate for hours and hours and hours. No, you
don't
don't
have time for that.
You can meditate in 10-15 minutes.
Absolutely.
And just to quiet your mind just for a moment.
Just to quiet your mind. And I love to sit and meditate because my refreshing place is a nice warm bath. So I get a double duty in there because I like to sit in the tub. I like to go over my day. I like to, speak life into myself. And I do that while I'm sitting in a nice warm tub, put a do not disturb sign on it. Don't y'all knock on this door. Don't you knock on this door.
And they
And
know
that's
better than to, right?
and that's my time. And so that's what happens when we begin to create life balance too. We begin to articulate our no and our boundaries, and we begin to teach other people how to respect that, starting in your home. So my bath time is mine. Leave me alone. Don't come unless it's an emergency. Don't come here. That's the boundary,
Yep.
because that's my time to rejuvenate, refresh, and get some me time.
Which we all have to have. You
Absolutely.
you can't give and give
Absolutely.
and give and give and give and never have enough time for you to take a little bit.
You have to replenish yourself. You have to.
Yeah. And it's just like when before we were getting on, it was like you were saying, I'm tired, but I want to take a nap, but I'm
I
not gonna be able
I'm
to.
so tired. I'm so tired today, you guys. You would not believe. It's like I don't know if you guys have. I don't know how many of you have ever watched Tom and Jerry, but there was a episode where he was keeping his eyes open with toothpicks, and that's kind of what I feel like right now.
Yeah, but you still got a lot of energy and you're dynamic and stuff. So that works.
So I'm looking forward to about maybe 9 o'clock because it's gonna be done.
Well, and where you live, you get to go drive for a long time to get anywhere. So
Yeah,
you be
I'm kind of centrally located, and so I'm really in a good spot where I'm not away from too many things. So I'm kind of lucky in that way. But the thing about being in LA is something could be 5 minutes away, but because it's LA traffic, you got to leave 30 minutes ahead of time.
exactly. But now I'm a former bus driver, so I know that if you're too tired, that you need to take a little rest before you get behind the wheel. So
Absolutely. That and with that, there's the joy of having adult children. So you can be like, oh, do you think you can drive?
oh, there you go. That's that. Well, my kids, I never could let that. It was not good if they drank. I was a nervous wreck, so I couldn't, even close my eyes. So, but
Oh,
of course,
yes,
this is
I had to do that a couple of weeks ago for my youngest daughter. I'm like, I'm going to get in this back seat. I need to lay down, and I'm going to go on and hand these keys over to you.
well, and she was like, "Yay, yep, I'll
you know,
do it, ma."
she she says she doesn't like driving my car, but
Oh well,
well,
what are you gonna do?
what are you gonna
So
do?
yeah, so now you also were in the entertainment business, is that right?
Absolutely. On the side, my daughter and I, we do producing, we do writing, and we do some hosting. So we're on the red carpet doing some hosting. Now we haven't done hosting in a minute, but right now we are working on a current project for an independent project that we're producing. And then in a couple of months, we'll be working on another project that we're producing. So yeah, I do some little dibble and dabble as well as stage work. I love being on stage. That is like my other passion, women and being on stage. If I could do that for the rest of my life, I'm good.
So now, when you said red carpet, do you mean like the red carpet where celebrities come down?
So yes, we host, we go to events and we do hosting on the red carpet. Yes, sir.
So, who is the nastiest celebrity that you've ever met?
I will be totally honest. I haven't run into any terrible interviews. I haven't. We've been pretty lucky. We only were in hosting. We started before the pandemic. So literally, we just had started hosting before the pandemic hit. So we literally only got in a good maybe 13 months of hosting, maybe a little less before it got shut down. So I didn't get a chance to not that I want to, but we just didn't run into people who were just, mean. We just didn't. And I'm so glad.
Well, on the red carpet, they're all on their best behavior,
They
it
should
seems.
be on their best behavior on the red carpet,
Yeah,
and the red
and
carpet moves really swiftly. So you're trying to get interviews with this person and trying to get interviews with that person. So it's a quick, it goes, but I like it.
yeah, I bet you never had anybody slap anybody on the red carpet either.
If they did, I didn't see it.
Can't believe I brought that up.
Ooh,
That's
Kevin.
but it's interesting because I've worked with a ton of people over my life, and some of them have been relatively famous people and stuff, and it's interesting. People are just people, and
People are people, and then some people, famous or not, you feel entitled, and that's how you engage.
I know people that aren't famous that feel entitled.
So
Um,
exactly, people are people.
yeah, so it's great fun to talk to you. By the way, this hour has gone by just really, really
Is our
quickly.
time up already?
It's almost but I want to make sure we get the information out about what you're doing and how they can reach you again.
Absolutely. You can reach me on my website where we can connect, and that's www.shelleymechette.com. We can always connect on social media. I am on Instagram, my name, I like to keep it simple, as well as Facebook. Guess what? My name. I like to keep it simple.
And Shelley, is her specialty really is working with women, and we haven't really talked about that specifically, but that really is. And you work with men too, but you work with women's issues to help them, because women are in a I believe right now, and you tell me, are in the middle of huge cataclysmic changes of what they have been able to do in the past versus what they are able to do now. And with the we too, and the all of the different things that are out there to uplift women and get rid of the glass ceilings, which I think are great, and that we're all that women are working together with stuff. Isn't the opportunity better now than it's ever been?
I believe that the opportunity is better, while I believe there's still so much work to
And
do.
there always will, I'm afraid.
So I believe the one thing that I love about this particular time right now is women aren't waiting for permission. And I think that's what I really love. Women are saying, I'm going to create opportunities for myself. Women are saying, I'm going to burst through these doors. And more women, in my opinion, are creating businesses, and they're creating legacy, and they're really trying to show, especially those who are parents, they're trying to show their children that we can do this. We don't have to be boxed. So that's what I love about this time. There's always going to be people who try to put you in your place, or who try to say, you can't be, you can't do. But what I love, and especially about this particular generation, is that this generation of just young people, period, both men and women, but they're saying, I'm going to create opportunities for me. It's not going to be the way your grandmother did it. It's not going to be the way your great grandmother did it. And while there's nothing wrong with 9 to 5, I love 9 to 5. We need our 9 to 5ers, but we just have more young people saying, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to look for something and do something different. And that is what I love. That's what I absolutely love.
I really love this young generation because they are
Mhm.
coming up completely differently. They've got
Completely differently. And they're saying, I'm going to take what I believe is this opportunity, and I'm going to do it for myself. And again, this is to say nothing about our grandparents, our great grandparents, because you did everything that you did with the knowledge that you had. You took care of families, you made sure food was on the table, and I respect that hustle. Absolutely. And we need to have that type of hustle where you don't just walk away from things, that don't feel good. You learn how to really stick with things and make things work. But I also love this new generation that's saying, if it doesn't work, and if it's not working, I'm not going to be forced to stick in it. I will create a different and new opportunity for myself. So I love it.
I was just thinking to myself that when we're talking about the glass ceiling and women's rights and women are moving ahead and stuff, very rarely do we ever put a face on the people that are holding them down. And it just dawned on me that it's it's like somebody that's suffered child abuse when they were a kid. It's like we talk about they were abused and they were a victim. Very rarely do we talk about the abuser and categorize him, but holding women down has become a full-time job for a lot of men in our society. And would that be true?
That is absolutely true. And
I noticed you were not sure that you wanted to actually go down there, but it just seems to me that, gosh,
it's
had
unfortunate that, again, and I look at it to say that a lot of this comes from an older generation of women not working outside of the home.
Yep.
And that not being seen as value. And so by men being the providers, by men being outside of the homes, by men creating all of these different professional relationships, it closed the door a lot to women. And so when women said, hey, I want to be able to have these things for myself, there's for lack of a better word, there's an intimidation that comes along to say, hey, where are you going? You're supposed to be boxed here. You're just supposed to be, where I desire for you to be. You're just supposed to stand next to me, look pretty, take care of the house, this. And so I think that mentality has come along for many generations, unfortunately. And so it becomes a little difficult sometimes to change that narrative, to change that mentality. And that's why I say now women are saying, if you don't change that mentality, that's on you, boo. You do you. But I am going to make sure that I do me and pour into me and get the opportunities, and I'm not going to depend on you for it.
And it's a basic human right, I think.
Absolutely. And I think that is better. But again, I think there's still some work to be done.
There's yes, and if before I open that can of worms, because we could spend the next hour talking about that, but I'm not going to hold you because I know you've got a lot of traveling to do, and it'd be nice if you could close your eyes for 5 seconds. So
we'll see what happens.
Shelley Meche'tte has been our guest here on Positive Talk Radio, and is there anything that you'd like to add before we go, just real quick?
Yes, for those of you, I would love to be able to share my freebie with you. If you are in that place where you're wondering, is there more? Is this all there is to life? Have I been created for anything more than where I am? The answer is absolutely. Please download my freebie. It is 5 PowHERful ways to discover your purpose. And you can find that at my www.shelleymechette.com/freebie. So please download that.
Very nice. It is awesome to talk to you. And will you come on to the program every now and again, just so I can keep up with you?
Now, you know I will. I will.
Well, I had to ask to see because I don't have a very high opinion of myself. And so it makes me feel better if you'll come back on the show. You see?
Oh, I will be back anytime you call.
You are nothing short of awesome. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you stay right there and we'll be right back. Thanks for enjoying this episode all the way to the end. Please give us a like and subscribe to this channel. This has been a production of kmmedia.pro. Please visit our website, oddly enough, named kmmedia.pro, for more details about us and our mission, which is to provide great positive programming designed to inspire us all. I'm Kevin McDonald, and I'm proud of these shows, and I truly hope that you'll like them and share them with friends and family. So on behalf of our entire team,